So today I'm going to attempt to demystify pie dough. And I'm hoping that when you see how simple it is to make your own homemade pie dough, you won't feel the need to buy store-bought pie dough or store-bought pies because it really is very, very simple. So in my food processor, I have a combination of 2 3/4 cups of sifted all-purpose flour, 1 tablespoon of sugar, and 1.5 teaspoons of salt. And I just ran the food processor for a few seconds just to combine those ingredients. So pie dough really is flour, sugar, salt, butter, and water. Some pie dough recipes use a combination of flour, of butter, and shortening. I actually prefer an all butter pie crust, but it's really a matter of taste. So what I have here is 2 1/4 sticks of really, really cold butter cut up into 1/2 inch cubes. And I'm going to add those to the flour mixture. Again, impeccably clean hands when cooking and baking are essential. So what I'm going to do is very carefully, so that I don't cut my fingers on the blade, I'm just going to toss the butter cubes in the flour mixture, which helps incorporate the butter once we turn the food processor on. There. And I want to get it evenly dispersed. Okay. I'm now going to put the cover of the Cuisinart on, our food processor. And I'm going to pulse for 10 seconds, just until coarse crumbs form. So I'm going to stop now and check it. And that's still, there's two large butter chunks in there, so I'm going to process it again. Check it again. This is perfect. So as you can see, the flour and butter, the butter is now the size of very small peas, which is exactly what you want. So when you're trying this at home, just process it, like I said, 10 seconds, stop, take a look, and when it gets to this consistency where you see tiny little balls of butter mixed in with the flour, you're there. It's very important not to overprocess it because you basically want bits of butter throughout the final dough. So now that we've done that, we're going to add ice water. So I have here a pitcher of ice water that I've had in the freezer. And I'm going to add, to start, just 7 tablespoons of ice water. And it really is frozen. But there we go. So 7 tablespoons. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Just going to put the ice water back in the freezer. And now I'm going to put the cover back on the food processor. And I'm going to pulse this for about 10 seconds, just until the dough folds together when I press it with my fingers. So let's give it a whirl. And I can tell by looking at it that's still too grainy, so I'm going to give it another 10-second pulse. Check it. And as you can see, when I press it together, it's holding together. So I know that we're done. I'm going to take it off the machine, take the blade out. Just press together the dough with my hands. Just roughly. And now I'm going to dump it out onto my cooking area. Scraping out any bits that are in the bottom of the Cuisinart food processor. And I'm basically going to knead this into a ball. So first thing is just to form it so that it stays together. And now, with the heel of my hand, not my palm because the palm is too warm, the heel of my hand, I'm going to basically streak the dough so that the flour and the fat get incorporated. And there actually is a term for this. It's called frissage. And as you can see, what was a dry pile of flour and butter is now coming together into a dough. It's also very important to work quickly because you don't want the butter to melt. Now I've combined it into basically a rough circle, and what I'm going to do now is cut that in half because this is enough dough for 1 double crust pie or 2 single crust pies. Now I'm going to take each half and form it into its own ball. That's one. Now the other. There. So that's what your end result, that's what you're going for. So now I'm going to wrap these in plastic wrap. And you'll notice, or you should notice, little flecks of butter in the dough, and that's exactly what you want, because that's what's going to make the dough nice and flaky. So that's one wrapped up. Wrap it up nice and tight. Okay. And now if I were going to use this pie dough immediately, I would just pop this in the fridge for about 2 hours. But since I'm not, I'm going to wrap it in foil. Nice and tight. And what I will do is I will put these in the freezer where they will last really for a month, 2 months. If you were going to make a pie right away, you would put that dough into the refrigerator, you would chill it for at least 2 hours, and at that point it will be perfectly ready to roll out. And next week I'll be making ricotta pie, so tune in then and I'll show you how to roll out the pie dough and make the filling and bake it. Thanks for watching.